Hey guys, Brains here. I'm bringing you a video today on Recon Breakpoint and the upgrade system. I have to start off by saying I enjoy the weapons in Breakpoint. I enjoy the idea of upgrading your weapons in Breakpoint, but I think the way that they went about designing the cost of upgrading the weapons is a little bit bottom heavy when they should have gone top heavy. And let me explain. Before we begin, go ahead and hit that like button, comment below if you've got a different opinion, and subscribe to the channel for more content. I will add a cliff note here. This is editing Ryan because I forgot to add it in the video as one of the most important parts. I started a new character so that I could find out how many standard weapons you get before you stop receiving them as a drop. And the answer is about 75 standard weapon parts. So take that into consideration when you hear the rest of the video on exactly what that means for the in-game content of you trying to upgrade these weapons that cost 4 standard weapon parts to upgrade. I can't even upgrade that many. Even at an 80 gear score, I now have to start buying weapons in order to upgrade. In the beginning of the game, when you first start out, most of the weapons you're going to be receiving are standard weapons. Once you hit maybe 20 or so, which is going to happen very quickly, then you're going to receive a lot more of the improved weapons. Once you get a little bit higher towards 50 or so, you'll start to get more advanced weapons. By the time you're 80, you're going to start getting those high-end weapons. And then by the time you're about 110, you're going to start getting the elite weapons. Now add about 30 to 40 points for each of those, and you're going to almost completely stop receiving the prior weapon, which means by the time you hit about gear score 70, you're going to stop receiving standard gear and standard weapons as a drop in the world, which means the only way you'll be able to receive a standard weapon is by buying it in the shop. Now I can say even on my 210, 215 character, I'm still able to buy a standard, an advanced, an improved, a high-end, all of those weapons from the store. So I'm able to purchase a weapon from a store that I can then dismantle to be able to get the weapon part that I need. But the main thing I'm trying to say here is I started a new character, played it fresh because I wanted to see when's the point that I stopped receiving standard weapons as a drop in the world. And I can say that once I hit about 70 or so, I stopped receiving those items. I actually wrote it down on once I was around 80 or so, what's the last drop of a standard kind that I received, and I didn't dismantle a single item the entire time. I was sitting around 145 items in my inventory. I had a 70 primary that was a standard, and I had a 60 glove. Those were the two highest. Anything but the next highest was around 45 and even 28. I received a 28 standard pants, and after that I didn't receive a single standard pants up until I was 80. So my problem with this system, and you can see it, I'll show a screenshot of my inventory as I'm a 210, is that as you're upgrading these weapons, it takes about 4 standard weapon parts, 3 improved weapon parts, 5 advanced, 3 high-end, and 1 elite weapon part to upgrade a gun all the way to Mark III. Now there's 66 weapons in this game currently. So as it stands, if you are a completionist and you want to make a Mark III of every single gun, it will take you 264 standard, 198 of the improved, 330 of the advanced, 198 of the high-end, and 66 elite guns to fully upgrade one gun. Now, to give you an example, I've upgraded about 4, maybe 3 to 4 of each weapon type because I'm trying them all out. So of SMGs, assault rifles, LMGs, all of these different guns, I've upgraded about 3 to 4, and maybe even possibly a couple more handguns because you don't really rotate them like you do your 2 primary slots. And of just those alone, it would have taken me so far 96 standard weapon parts to get to this point, which isn't a point, it aligns up with my inventory because you'll see that I have 4 standard weapon parts left, which means I have 1 more gun that I can upgrade to a Mark III before I'm done. And a little bit of it's just, it doesn't work. And this is my opinion. I don't typically look at things in a negative manner. I try to find a good positive, which is why a lot of my videos on Breakpoint are positive, because I'm really enjoying this game and I really enjoy the upgrade system. I don't understand why they didn't make your attachments what dictates whether you increase certain slots, like make it to where if I change my handling of the grip, then that's what gives me an increase to handling or whatever. But I do like the fact of being able to take a gun that's a very basic gun and be able to make it your own by adding parts to it and customizing it. I love that, but I don't think that they have the economy of the weapon parts figured out, because anybody who's played up to the point where they're in the hundreds will know that standard weapons stop dropping. Improved weapons even are almost going to be completely stopped by the time you hit around 100, and all you're going to start receiving are the advanced guns until you get into the 180, 190s. And now at the point I'm at in the 210 range, all I'm receiving are high ends and elites. Again, I'll show my screen here, and I'm sitting at 95 high end parts. That's just, it's amazingly higher than what I'm sitting at in the other stuff, such as 30 advanced, 39 improved, 13 elite, and 4 standard weapon parts. And I don't think I've done a ton of upgrading on any of my guns. I still have a long way to go on upgrading any of the guns in the game. And now I'm stuck at a point where instead of receiving a drop in the world, I have to turn around and spend my skill credits in the shop to get a standard weapon that I'm going to turn around and dismantle. So in conclusion, what I'm saying here is the system, I don't know if they fully thought it through from the point of end game. As I'm playing the end game, what I would like to see for this mark system is maybe only charge me 1 to 2 standard weapon parts. I'd actually say 1 standard weapon part to upgrade the lower marks. Once you get higher in the marks, flip this system around, make it 1 standard, 2 improved, 3 advanced, 4 high-end, and then make it 5 elite weapon parts. Because as people are playing the end game of this content, this is when they're looking to Mark 3 all of their guns. You're not looking to Mark 3 your guns when you're a new 80 gear score character. But they've built this system where it only requires you to spend 1 elite part to max out a gun, and they've made it bottom heavy when they should have made it top heavy. Again, I'm really loving the game in almost all of the aspects. It's just this one little aspect that's kind of stopped and hindered my progression, because now I'm at the point where I have to turn around and sell gear so that I can have more money, or go and locate other places and kill behemoths and find a way to get skill credits so that I can then turn around and buy weapons to dismantle them just so I can upgrade a weapon. In the current system, you would almost want standard weapons to keep dropping all the way through, but I think that the way to fix this would be to switch this system, that it requires you to spend more high-end weapon parts and elite parts than it does for you to spend standard, improved. I know that advanced is the highest cost right now, but again, I'm not seeing an issue with having high-end parts, because you at least stick with that range a little bit more than you stick with the first range. I mean, you're blowing through the levels up to 80 very quickly, and then before you know it, standard weapons are gone. Thanks for bearing with me. That's my brief little rant about the system. Again, I don't like raising an issue with the game unless I also have a solution, and I think that's the solution. They need to completely rotate their way of thinking on how they do this and charge us more elite and high-end, like even the high-end, just charge us a ton of high-end guns, and then keep the elite maybe lower because you're not receiving as much of those. Maybe that's the solution. I don't really know. Give the video a thumbs up, comment below if you've got a different opinion or if you have some similar frustrations, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thanks.